Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant Chess Voice. Today we are looking at the next game of the central pawn roller. So we know what is central pawn roller. When the central pawns are there alone, they drive the opponent's pieces away. So let's get started with the game quickly. E4, E5, knight f3, knight c6, bc4, bc5. As told you before, we are again going to look at the game by Greco. So this is some analysis from the Greco's attack. I think in the last lesson I told it's Greco's gambit, but it's not Greco's gambit actually. It's called the Greco's attack. So white goes for the move c3. He's sacrificing a pawn by d4. Okay, so nf6, d4. So after ed, cd in the previous game, we saw after the move bb6, white immediately got to push his pawns and drive the black pieces away. In this game, black played somewhat better. Black played the move bb4 check, which happens to be the main move. White plays mc3, and now after knight e4, we reach the main position of Greco's attack, which I have covered earlier in my earlier lesson. White plays castle and gives up the pawn nc3, bc, bishop c3. That is the game based on the concept of preventive sacrifice. So the sacrifice which is used to stop castling could be a preventive. When we prevent something, especially castling, so such a sacrifice is called preventive sacrifice. You can check that lesson. So in this game, black thought that maybe knight into e4 is little risky, so he went for the move castle. Okay, but the problem with castle is very much similar. Now again the white center's pawns are left unattended and they are let to be free. And what they will do, they will cause havoc on the board. Let's see. See, one of the most important olden concepts is in the olden days, they used to consider if the center control is strong, means if pawns are placed nicely in the center, that itself is enough to give advantage. But the modern players said that only the center is not important, along with that other factors like how much development we have, that is also equally important. But here if we see the position, development wise also white has already 3. See, black has just got the 4th one, and white center 2 pawns are able to drive the pieces now. So white starts with the move d5. I told you before also, after the move e5, black's d5 will be very good, especially after ef, then dc, then fg, and then re8 check, and black will become better. So e5 d5 gives rise to a very pleasant position for black. That is why first d5. Now knight e5 is not possible, knight into d5 is not possible. So the knight goes to e7. Knight is heading to the g6 square. Now the e4 pawn is hanging, so immediately e5. Note that d5 cannot be taken. 2 attacks on d5 and 2 supports. We can't count this knight, the knight is pinned. So knight goes to e4. In this game we see that black is still far better placed as compared to the previous one. Now white has an important decision to make. He has to protect the knight. The move bd2 will give up all the advantage, because after bd2, knight into d2, and if queen d2, then the pin still remains on the c3 knight, and black can play the move d6, and after e6 maybe we can take and try the move d5. So that would give a decent. Even after fe de, king h8 is also playable. So that position will be quite okay for black. Rook will also get open file. So white didn't want to waste the move. So white played the move queen c2. Now queen c2 does 2 things. It protects the knight on c3 and also attacks the knight on e4. Do note that playing f5 is very dangerous on account of d6 check, king goes to h8, and this knight wants to join g5. If the knight gets to g5, for example, even knight g5 right now, then knight g5, bg5, that position is also very strong. Another thing we note that just pawn takes the knight, that is also giving a winning position. So playing f5 with the bishop here is really very bad. At least black is losing the piece. Black played knight into c3. He wanted to preserve the bishop and knight was attacked, so he is exchanging so that the move is not lost. Pawn takes c3, bishop gets attacked and bishop comes to c5. Now this is a very important moment for white. White wants to use his development, better center control to convert the game. So what it is said, a side who has better control of the center is usually able to create and convert it to a kingside attack. So white's attack plays itself. We can see all the active pieces, bishop, queen, bishop and this knight. Bishop is eyeing till the h6 square, pawn is covering till f6, knight is ready to jump to g5 and whenever d6 comes, bishop will be opened, queen is directly attacking h7. So knight g5 good move, immediately taking advantage and forcing black to commit one of these pawns. If g6 is played, then what happens? Knight goes to e4, knight attacks the bishop, bishop moves away and knight f6 check. Instantly it's game over because after king h8, the queen will join from d2 to h6 for mate and even the move bh6 traps the rook on f8. So totally winning for white after g6. Of course, you must have noted the move h6 allows qh7 mate and finally the move f5 here allows many things. Firstly, we can do ef en passant and queen h7 will be winning. Second, the move d6 check is perhaps even stronger, opening the bishop and just winning the knight. So black was compelled to play knight g6. And from this game we will now learn another way of attacking. See, the knight on g6 is pinned right now, so white starts with the move h4. The pawn attack with the h4, h5 is usually done against a g6 kind of position, what we learned in our Perk and modern defense game. But it can also be used against the pinned knight on g6. To note that the knight is unable to move because of qh7 check. So the last move in g6 has created this pin and the move h5 here will try to exploit the attack on this diagonal. So the good move will be d6 and after ed queen into g6. See, the bishop's diagonal is opened here and this pin is very dangerous. It's game over now. Knight is unable to move. Knight moves, then qh7 mate, c into d6, then qg6 followed by qh7 mates. So black went for the move h6. Of course, now the position is almost losing and we can also say that white must have more than one way of winning over here. So here I like the move h5 also, which is very strong. We can consider knight f7. One problem with knight f7, rook f7 is f2 is attacked, but after d6 even that is great. White went the other way around. He played d6 first, opening the bishop's diagonal, not letting black to d6, and after hg5 many must expect the move qg6. I think qg6 will also win the game, okay, because there is a pin and soon bishop g5 followed by bf6. That was in the previous game. If you hear, white did just hg and we see the power of activity here. The bishop is controlling the diagonal, the queen is controlling another diagonal till h7, the bishop on c1 helps the g5 pawn and hg move opened the rook. So in spite of sacrificing a piece here, white's position is totally winning. Now again the knight cannot move. If knight into e5, then we can easily see that queen h7 mate, this time due to the rook. So basically the position is lost now. Black played re8, queen takes g6, which was the main idea of playing d6, opening the bishop, and black just tried rook e5 check, and here simply king f1. He can do other things. b3 is perfectly playable, but king f1, king is safe, no checks are possible, and white has several threats. First threat, queen h7, king f8, queen h8 mate. Second E8 is at F7 is attacked. So second threat is queen into F7 mate. So suppose queen E8 threatening mate on E1 and protecting F7, then as I said, queen H7 check, king F8 and queen H8 checkmates. Suppose he could block this with rook E6, then also same, queen H7, king F8, queen H8 mates, and there is no other way. So here black resigned in the game. He could have tried queen E8, but it's lost, so he resigned in the game. So now we completed 2 games of central pawn roller. We will be looking at these topics later on. I will move on to other topics now. I hope you are enjoying these lessons. Do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thanks for your time.